Don't cry, don't be sad. You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin playing just for you. Hello, well, Reservoir Dogs is the debut film of the one and only Quentin Tarantino. It was released in 1992, and if you don't know who Quentin Tarantino is, really? The movie stars Harvey Keitel as Mr. White, Michael Madsen as Mr. Blonde, Tim Roth as Mr. Orange, Steve Buscemi as Mr. Pink, Lawrence Turney as the boss, and Chris Penn as the son of the boss. There's also Blue and Brown, but nobody gives a damn about them, even though Brown is Tarantino. The plot is simple. Six guys, six colors, they don't know a damn about each other, but they were hired to do a job. Steal some diamonds in a jewelry store. What can go wrong? Now, as you may know, which you really should know, the strongest feature in a Tarantino film is his well-crafted dialogue, which A leads to better acting and B makes the story a lot more believable, and this movie is no exception. So the movie starts with all the crew having lunch at a restaurant. They're talking about movies, about songs, about all kinds of stuff, and they're doing it the way normal people would do it. I mean, if I had been at that restaurant and I didn't know any of them, they're not famous, they're not actors, I swear I couldn't be able to tell if they're acting that shit right there. Anyway, after they leave the restaurant, the boys go and do the heist. However, the heist itself is never shown in the movie. This is one of those movies where they show the present, what's going right now, and lots of segments of the past, so you, the viewer, can put the pieces together and figure out what's going on. I'm not gonna lie, I love that shit. Anyway, after completing the job, they were all supposed to meet at this safe house, but everything went terribly wrong. Mr. Brown is dead, Mr. Blue is dead. The first ones to arrive to the safe house are Mr. White and Mr. Orange. Mr. Orange's been shot, he's dying. Then Mr. Pink gets there and he says, "What the hell happened? There's no way in hell the cops didn't already knew about our plans. There is a rat in the house. We gotta know, who is he?" Then Mr. White and Mr. Pink start arguing. There's a rat in the house. They start arguing. They have to take Mr. Orange to a hospital because he's dying, but for obvious reasons they can't go to a hospital. Tensions go up to the point when they point the gun at each other, and then Mr. Blonde shows up. Now, Mr. Blonde is a psychopath. They said that back at the heist he was blasting people away like it was hunting season or something. Then he grabs a cop and kidnaps him in order to escape the police. He puts him in a trunk of a car, and then he goes to a fast food restaurant, orders a combo, and he eats his way to the safe house like nothing had happened. Anyway, after that, all three of them, White, Pink, and Blonde, not Orange because Orange is dying, start hitting the crap out of the cop, and I'm not gonna lie, that shit looks pretty damn fake. It really does. The WWE looks a lot more real than that shit. I don't know why. And then Chris Penn shows up and says, "Hey, what the fuck's going on here?" And they all say, "We're torturing the cop. There's a rat in the house. We gotta know who the rat is." And he says, "Yeah, well, keep torturing the cop, and he's gonna tell you his mom is the rat." And that is why the movie is so great. You start thinking, there's a rat, okay, this guy makes sense, but that guy doesn't make sense. Okay, this guy does make sense, and it makes you think, is there a rat? There's no rat. Who's a rat? Up to the point when the truth reveals itself, you don't know who the rat is, or if there is a rat. It's brilliant. Now, the following segment is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen the movie, please turn the volume down until I'm done. But I have to talk about this because apart from the fake hitting, is the only other thing that bugged me from this movie. There's a point in time in this movie when the rat saves the kidnapped cop from getting killed, and then they're all alone and he says, "Dude, don't worry, I'm a cop. There is a unit outside and they're waiting for the boss to get here in order to break in," to which the kidnapped cop responds, "Yeah, I know you're a cop, I know you." Yeah, a couple of things with this. First, I don't buy that the kidnapped cop being tortured did not tell them who the rat was. I don't buy that. You're being tortured. Why would you save a guy which plans you don't know it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do it. If I was being tortured, I would have said all of them. I would have sing like a bird as soon as they touched me. Second thing, why would the rat expose himself, telling the cop who he is, jeopardizing his position if he knows that the kidnapped cop is being tortured? He may spill the beans next time they hit him. Why would he do that? Why? Anyway, this movie is great. The acting is superb. The script is superb. The director, he did a really good job. You should totally see this. If you like Tarantino's movies, and by that I mean violence and great dialogue, you should have checked this yesterday. Another great thing Tarantino did in this movie is putting music from the 70s. I mean, the story takes place in the 90s, but the music's from the 70s because there's like a 70s weekend in the radio or something, and it works really well with the characters. You cannot miss this movie. This movie is an outstanding ace. In my humble opinion, this is the best movie Tarantino ever made. Some people like more Pulp Fiction or Inglourious Basterds or whatever. This is my personal favorite. Please tell me which is your personal favorite. There's a link below for the trailer, another one for the soundtrack. Please enjoy, and if they had not done what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive. Later.